Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, we discuss my thoughts on episode 9 of the anime series One Punch Man. And it was all kinds of awesome. Much as I suspected, we see Genos wiping the floor seemingly with the Deep Sea King. Unfortunately, doesn't amount to a whole hell of a lot, and he gets torn the F up. He gets properly wrecked by the Deep Sea King. But I mean, I loved seeing Genos be able to be in on the action and trying to take this threat down, even going so far as to sacrifice himself to a point. I mean, he's not killed, but I mean, that acid spit that Deep Sea King, launches at this little girl, Genos gets in the way of it to save her life. It was just like goosebumps, this entire action sequence. And then, of course, you have Moomin Rider, licenseless rider, showing up on the scene, and he is the thorough underdog. He's been inspired by Saitama. We saw in the previous episode, he gave him a ride and everything, and we see a little more of that in this episode. And he will not, take it lying down. He's having his ass handed to him, being thrown around like a rag doll by Deep Sea King, and it's just heartbreaking. And when they, play the music and the crowd is chanting for him, I felt so bad for him. Like, he's giving it his all. And it's just, he can't even make a dent on this sucker, And then, of course, Saitama shows up. He catches Moomin Rider in his arms, and Saitama's bored out of his mind. You have Deep Sea King kind of monologuing and everything, and he's like, come on, it's raining, let's go, let's do this. One punch, a hole right through him, made a donut out of this, crustacean mother trucker. It's just, I lost it, because I expected that to happen, but I figured it was going to be much more gelatinous, like an explosion all over the place. There wouldn't be a body, remnant left over of the Deep Sea King. But of course, you have Saitama finally pitched to have the accolades, to receive the thanks and, the gratefulness from the crowd. They've witnessed it. And then you have the one, pardon my French, douche nozzle in the crowd who's like, oh, well, no, they weren't really that, strong heroes and blah, blah, blah. And just totally degrading the entire event, And to my surprise, this guy wasn't readily, gone along with. Most of the crowd were telling him to shut the hell up and everything. But Saitama is standing there with his back to the crowd. He's hearing all of this. And you're not sure at first if he's heard it all, but of course he has. And then he starts cracking up at, just the senility of this situation. What does this guy have to do before he'll get the applause, the acclaim? But he makes his own sort of self-sacrificial act. He becomes very much that much more of a hero, because he's putting the other heroes who had their asses handed to them, that are, hanging on by threads of life, ahead of himself. He's basically like, yep, that's me, good old, caped baldy Saitama. I come in at the last minute, I finish the job, and I try to take all the acclaim and all the credit for it. Just make sure you go watch out for those other heroes. Make sure they're okay. Take care of them so that next time I can come in at the last minute and be the cheater I am and everything like that. And it's just like, man, frickin' Saitama taking one for the team, I would say, except that he's kind of on his own, unless you consider, of course, Moomin Rider and Genos. And I love that he has in Moomin Rider this new ally, somebody who knows what he was capable of, knows what he's done, appreciates it, has sent him a letter of thanks. I mean, you see all of the fan mail for Genos, and Saitama gets 2 out of them. One is calling him a cheat and wants to kill him. The other one is just a thank you from, Moomin Rider. And just, I love that dynamic, though. There is somewhat of a contrast between Genos and Saitama and Moomin Rider and Saitama. They're both looking up to him and they're both inspired by him, but I feel like Genos is much more nuclear and trying to just, go all out. Whereas Moomin Rider, he realizes and appreciates his limitations. He is, that whole dialogue when he's, confronting Deep Sea King, and he's like, look, nobody needs to tell me. I have no shot, no hope. of destroying you. I'm going to get my ass killed here, but it's that I'm trying that is important, you know. So in a way, Moomin Rider is that much further along in the lesson learning than Genos, in a sense. But I love that. I mean, you know, this is such a great series in that it's hilarious, it's balls to the wall, it's absolutely absurd, it's full of action and all that kind of content. But there's also great characterization going on here. The depth in Saitama to give up the accolades, to not take the credit, to put the credit back on the heroes who came before him, even though they had no, you know, call to be able to destroy this threat, this monster. He's still saying, take care of them. You know, in spite of me, yeah, I'll be the bad guy. I'll be the cheater who comes in last. I know the truth. You know, Moomin Rider knows the truth. He appreciates it. Genos knows the truth. A couple other heroes here and there are going to know the truth. But if Saitama has to kind of be the bad guy and he's still saving the day, it's tragic, but it's that much more compelling. And I feel that much more for him. And I feel that much more for Moomin and Genos, who they had no hope of doing anything. None of these heroes did. And that's always going to be the case. And then we're talking like the preview for next episode. We have this old like psychic lady going schizoid because she senses something even worse coming. You know, what the hell's that going to be? And then we had Sonic actually looking for Deep Sea. He went back, he got his complete uniform, his clothes and his weapons and everything. He's looking for Deep Sea King. He's like, all right, well, have to let that one go. You know, bygones be bygones, whatever like that. And Saitama, in the end, at least he managed to go up another level. You know, Class B, he's at the bottom tier, but at least he doesn't have to worry, as was his main concern over the last 2 episodes, where he's talking about, if I can get up into Class B, I don't have to worry about this weekly quota and everything. And Moomin Rider's laughing about that. I'm laughing about that, you know. But, yeah, another great episode. I love the depth and characterization amidst, again, all the hilarity, all the action, you know, everything that was going on. And I just feel for these characters, you know. Saitama moved up a grade for me personally as a fan. I mean, he's been just badass. And I've felt for him before when he's had the crowd turn on him. But now he's consciously making the decision to play the bad guy for the benefit of the other heroes. He's becoming more selfless, like another hero we know and love. Or at least I do, you know, Superman. And I love him that much more for it. I love the dynamic between he and Moomin Rider, as I say. I love the dynamic between he and Genos. These are guys who are always going to know the truth and are always going to back him up if they can, to the nth degree. And it's like that dynamic between them is just awesome. It's just awesome sauce. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 9 of One Punch Man. If you saw it, if you enjoyed it as much as I did. If not, why not? Let me know in the comments below. Love having the conversation with you guys. And so yeah, otherwise that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you later. Peace.